Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and this is the Frontline Changes Report. I'm supposed to do the sit rep, but I realize I have too many frontline changes, so I have to cover this first. So there is a lot of frontline changes over the past 48 hours plus, and this includes the latest information from today as per this recording. So this is the latest frontline changes for the past 2-3 days. So we start off from the Kursk front. So at the Kursk front in the northern flank, we have some updates. The Ukrainian mapping have conceded they have lost positions up to this point just south of Otranoe. So the Russian forces have basically retaken everything north in this area here in the northern flank of the Kursk front. However, geolocation of Ukrainian forces getting airstrike also shows that the Ukrainians actually have control of this forest. So we definitely can be sure that the Ukrainian mapping is actually pretty decent, pretty accurate, that they might actually be still in this area here, in this forest, defending whatever they can in their Kursk conquest. So that's the Kursk front in the northern flank. We move on from here. The next frontline change, we jump all the way to Terny. So Terny is here in the Kremna front. So at the Kremna front, over Terny, there is geolocation of Russian forces further entering into Terny from the north. So the northern side of Terny is now entirely lost to the Russians already. Ukrainian forces are still in the center and in the south. And there was a geolocation of an airstrike, clearly shows that the Ukrainians are still in Terny. So yeah. So and then after that we have frontline changes over at Ivano-Darka in the Siversk front. So this is Siversk, and at the Siversk front at Ivano-Darka, Russian forces has been geolocated southwest of Ivano-Darka, confirming Russian presence in this area here. They previously have claimed, and in fact they were there at Ivano-Darka, but since then we don't have any information. Maybe the Russians give up the position. Ukrainians have been claiming that Ivano-Darka is still under their control, but the geolocation should clearly show that the Russians are still pretty nearby. So that's Ivano-Darka. The next frontline change, we jump to Druzhba. So we jump away from Bakhmut because there's nothing at Bakhmut. Over at the New York front, at the Druzhba region, Ukrainian forces, Ukrainian mapping have claimed, Ukrainian sources have claimed that they have taken back some positions at Druzhba in probably some counterattack. So there's some frontline change. This is a confirmed Ukrainian control based on Ukrainian mapping. The gray zone is actually even much bigger than this, but I don't map the gray zones, so this is what it is. So this is the Druzhba. The next frontline change, we jump to the Pokrov front. So this is Pokrov, and this is the Pokrov front. And at Selydove, so this Selydove, one of the major cities over in this area here, there is a lot of frontline change around this area, as you can see. So we focus on this western part of Selydove first. Geolocation of Russian forces in the northwest of Selydove confirmed the Russians have expanded out of Selydove, and there is also geolocation of Russian forces in the northwest of Vyshneve, entering into Krychorivka. So this confirmed that the Russians have is now continuing their attack into Krychorivka, and this could also potentially be linked. That like the entire front line may actually be more straight than what is suggested over here. This geolocation may also suggest that the Russians may have actually taken everything in this northwest of Selydove, but it's not clear because I cannot just assume, because this entire tree line is linked to the highway which the Russians are not known to be there. So tentatively we just have to wait for more information. So and in the Novo Oleksivka, south of Vyshneve region, so Russian forces advance here. So wrong color, advance here. So Russian forces also geolocated. This is one of the latest information geolocated by Kremna Caprice, and of Russian forces entering Novo Oleksivka. So this confirmed the Russians have actually advanced quite a bit in this west of Selydove, moving towards Novo Oleksivka. And the extent of the rear position is unclear. So this is only a rough gauge of the Russian capture. Probably might be bigger. Maybe this part is actually linked. The entire Gali region southwest of Vyshneve might be under Russian control. So that's all from this area. And moving on, over the Tsukurine region, Russian forces have been geolocated south of the Novodimitrivka, capturing huge amount of grounds in the north of Voznesenka. So these are a lot of grounds being captured by the Russian forces. And based on the Ukrainian mapping, in their latest mapping by the Ukrainian sources, the Russian forces also have captured half of Kremna Balka coming from Tsukurine, and they have also considered claims over the south of Tsukurine, confirming Russian advances in this area here. I think given the speed of advance, most likely the Ukrainians are also running tactical retreat in this area here. So with the advance over here, the Russian forces is moving towards Sonsivka. So this Sonsivka, they are moving towards Sonsivka around here. So that's all from the Tsukurine region. We move further south to the Kurakhove region. So it's the Hirnyk sector, but Hirnyk is really like in the past now. So in the Kurakhove region, so Russian forces have entered in expanded control inside Novoselidivka. So let's move this like that. Okay, so then we move this like that. Okay, so yeah, we got everything now. So Russian force, okay, no, not everything. So I need to move up a bit. So Russian forces have also confirmed to have captured Kurakhivka. Based on the Ukrainian mapping, they have considered huge chunk of grounds. This clearly is a show that the Ukrainian forces basically have run away entirely. They have retreated entirely from this area here in the double quick time. So Russian forces expanded the control on the southwest of Hirnyk, as well as capturing the rest of Kurakhivka, south of Kurakhivka, northern half of Alexandropil, and they have entered into Vovchenka as well. The Russians also took the entire mining hill in this region here. So massive capture in this Kurakhivka Hirnyk region. And in the latest information, there is still in 2 days, there's still no updates as per this part yet. But this is actually this is already like 48 hours old now. So when we move on, over in the south of Maksymilianivka, Russian forces also expanded control, further securing Maksymilianivka entirely. So Maksymilianivka is now really firmly under Russian control. So because of the buffer zone that the Russians have created, and it's amazing because we used to be fighting in this area. Not I think like the reporting is like the fighting used to be here, and then now suddenly it's like here Maksymilianivka, and we spent way more time in Marinka than Georgievka. So that's kind of a bizarre situation. Over in the Uspenivka, eastern flank, the Konstantinivka, from the Konstantinivka, the Russian forces have advanced into Antonivka with geolocation of Russian forces confirmed. And in the latest information, Russian forces have entered into Yelizavetivka, and they're coming from the direction of Katerinivka. This may be an indication that the Russians have full control over Katerinivka, but we cannot confirm because the Russians have been geolocated in the south as well, and this is also a possible route. By crossing the river in the southeast of Yelizavetivka, they're attacking towards the eastern entrance to Yelizavetivka. So that is a possibility. Or the more plausible thing is that the Russians have entirely taken Katerinivka. So which is more likely to be the case because the Russian Defense Ministry has already announced the capture of Katerinivka on the 29th of October. But we still have not have mappings to confirm this yet. But this likely to be the case. I think the Russian Defense Ministry is most likely honest about this part. So let's see how this continue to develop in this area here. And then we move into the Bohoyavlenka region. Russian forces have continued to move towards Trudove. So this is based on Ukrainian mapping. Russian forces in the latest Ukrainian mapping have advanced further up north from Bohoyavlenka around the lake. The Ukrainians are holding a defense around Trudove. This is definitely defended because the Russians are not moving over this area here pretty quickly. And the Russian mapping also claimed a huge chunk of grounds in the east of Bohoyavlenka. So but the vital one is this one because the Russians are trying to attack into Trudove. So that's the current situation around here. In the east, this is the full extent of the claim. from the Russian mapping that the Russians have captured all this area here. So we will continue to monitor the situation. Ukrainian positions in this field fortification is possible because there's a massive plantation of forest in this in the east of in the west of Yelizaveta. So these fields areas may still be supported and reinforced and resupplied and hold a line in the south, but this is not going to hold very long if the Russians continue to push up in this Trudove region. So we move on. So over in the SYM, I don't have a good acronym for this. So anyway, in this entire region here, there is a few overlapping maps. First, the Ukrainian mapping first have confirmed that the Russians have captured Yasna Polyana as well, and then there was geolocation that show that the Russian forces have taken most of Shaktarske, if not all of Shaktarske, and I think it's confirmed all. Ukrainian mapping have confirmed that they have captured, the Russians have captured all of Shaktarske, and then we have seen the Russian forces entering into Maksymilianivka and capturing huge amount of grounds. Then the Russian mapping actually claims a huge amount of areas around here to be captured, and in the latest Ukrainian mapping, they have corroborated a huge chunk of it. So yeah, so it is like a lot of information, not important. If you believe everything, then the Russian forces have captured all of this area here, which includes the capture of Yasna, Polyana, Shaktarske, and the entire southern half of Maksymilianivka. So the Russian forces have advanced greatly in this area here, capturing a lot of grounds, and we'll continue to monitor the situation in this area here. The Russians could go in many directions. I covered this in the conclusions before, but probably I will rehash it in the future. After this area, the next frontline change is over at Verbove. Surprisingly, at Zaporizhzhia front, so this is Zaporizhzhia, and this is the Zaporizhzhia front. Over at Verbove region, there is a surprise frontline change mapped by the Ukrainian side. In the northwest of Verbove, Russian forces have taken more grounds. Taken grounds around here, straightening the front line a bit, making the front line a bit more tenable in this area here. So this, if you zoom out a bit, this is part of the Orikhiv sector. Then the Russian forces have expanded the grounds in the northwest of Verbove. So anyway, that's it. So these are all the frontline changes for the past 48 to even 36 hours. So thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. I think I will have to skip the SIP wrap. Probably do a conclusions later. I'll see how. And I'll see you guys in the next update.